joining us right now is Eagles tight end, Super Bowl champion, Dallas Goedert. Dallas, how does it feel when you hear that?
That's pretty cool. Hearing the Super Bowl champion's got a nice little ring to it. But, we're on to the next year. Hopefully we can put another good one together.
With that being said, Dallas, I know you had an odd offseason, if you will. So tell me, what was it like knowing that there was a potential? I mean, it's not now, but there was potential that you weren't going to be here. How did you handle that this offseason?
Yeah, I just kept going about my business, getting the body feeling right for whatever was going to happen. It was emotional. You went with the sadness of leaving, the excitement of going to a new city and doing all that, and then right back to the sadness. But I was really happy that we were able to work out a deal, come back and be with all my brothers and everybody in the building that I got so much love and respect for.
What is it like to be in that scenario you were in this offseason? Because I was curious how much you are aware of the rumors out there, what we're talking about. Like every day it seemed like he's gone. Oh, he's going to come back. Maybe the Eagles are going to trade Goedert. But then you ended up back here. Is it a day-to-day thing? Do you try to disconnect and have your agent say, tell me what's going on? Like, what was it like for you, the day-to-day, month-to-month roller coaster before you knew you were going to be back here?
Yeah, like you said, it was definitely a roller coaster of emotions. I just try to leave it to my agent. He would call me and tell me something was going to happen, and it didn't happen. So, I just waited up until something was set in stone before I believed anything. And, I was an Eagle until I wasn't. I was still under contract, just restructured, so I never got cut, released, anything like that. So I've always been an Eagle. But, yeah, it was just – when something happens, I was just going to accept my fate and move on and do whatever I had to do.
Well, we're happy you're back here, Dallas. It's been a good run, a really good run in an Eagles uniform. Been in 2 Super Bowls, won the one last year. Now, like you said, looking forward to this year. Let's talk about this camp so far. And once again, you've gone through this a lot. New play caller. Now it's Kevin Patullo, who's been with you guys for a while. How's camp so far? And now with Kevin Patullo, the guy running the offense.
Yeah, camp's been great so far. We're getting really good work. Going to the meeting room, cleaning stuff up. You see a lot of positives out there, and that's what you should expect with an offense that's been together for so long. But I'm really excited for Kevin for his opportunity. He's waited a long time for this. He's seen a lot of good coordinators, been able to learn under some good guys, and what he's been doing for the offense, the little tweaks, the little changes, how he's calling it at practice. It looks really good, but you never fully know until that first game, but I'm expecting big things from him. I think our offense is going to be in a really good position with him calling the plays.
You know what, speaking of that, and we know how this offense ran last year with, we ran the ball a lot. Now we got A.J. Dillon, and I know it's only been a couple days that we've been in training camp and all this other stuff, but has this offense changed at all, or is it still kind of going to be centered around the running game?
It's hard to tell. I think the biggest positive about our offense is that we can win in any ways. We ran the ball so much this season, had so much success in that. We got to the Super Bowl and we didn't run the ball very well, but Jaylen stepped up and passed the ball. So if the defense is going to give us looks, the offensive line, the big boys up front, they love run blocking. They love doing all that. AJ Schmitty are so selfless on the outside that they're willing to lose a couple targets to win games. So it really depends on how the defense is going to stop us. If they're going to load the box and try to stop Saquon, we'll attack them through the air. If they want to double AJ, double Schmitty, we'll hand the ball out to Saquon and let him do what he did last year.
You know what, speaking of that, I don't know how the conversation went, but was that somewhat of an adjustment for guys, especially when you're coming from an offense that – before Saquon got here, the ball got spread around a little bit. So was that somewhat of an adjustment for everybody?
There's always adjustments throughout the year. It was cool. AJ always talked about you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get. You don't know when the next one's going to be. So make the most of it. I think I saw something that he had the most broken tackles when he was covered one-on-one or something. So he lived that, and he tried to preach it to me and Schmitty, and just take advantage of the opportunities you're going to get, because it's special. And you got an O-line, you got a special running back like Saquon, you got a quarterback that can hold the edge so well with Jaylen, and then when the opportunity is called, it seems like we make the plays more often than not.
Was there a moment last year, we're talking to Dallas Goedert here at Eagles training camp, where you started to feel like the team could be special? I know you always think maybe the start of the year training camp, like we got a good team, but last year was choppy, right? You start 2-2. You made the big play in New Orleans to get a win there, but 2-2, and then October hit, and you guys seem to hit a different stride. Then November hit a different stride. Was there a moment for you, a time period of the season, where you started to think hey, we got a chance here to do some big things.
Yeah, it kind of felt the same as it did back in 2022 when we went to the Super Bowl in training camp that year. I remember putting my arm around Miles and us being like, man, I think we got a really good team. And, we traded for AJ that offseason, and that was kind of the time. That was kind of a missing piece that we needed, and it really helped us that year. And I think it was the same thing. Once we traded for Saquon last year, and then we saw him out here at training camp, what he was able to do, how good he still looked. I think it was early on. The season was a little rough, and we just kept saying, that's the preseason. The first 4 weeks, you're just trying to gel as a team, trying to figure out what's going to work for you that year. And but yeah, it was really early on that I knew we had a chance to be really special.
Dallas, I'm gonna take you back to the Super Bowl because I'm curious about this. Because going into that game, everybody talked about Kansas City and how good they are and all this other good stuff. But at what point in that game did you realize, like, man, we are kicking y'all ass? Like, y'all can't really do nothing with us. At what point did you feel like this was about to be a old-fashioned ass whooping?
Yeah, I mean, it was early. We had a lot of positive vibes. We had a lot of pain going into it from the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So I had good expectations. The way the game went, it was probably after Zach Bond's pick right before halftime. But, we were up 10 on them the first Super Bowl, and they were able to come back and win that game. So everybody was still so locked in that whole game up until the starters got pulled. We were all going to make sure that didn't happen again.
Dallas Goedert with us here. All right, Hugh brought up the Super Bowl and the playoffs. You have been one of the best tight ends in the playoffs in terms of statistics, really in the history of the NFL. And you've got a chance to play in a lot of playoff games because the Eagles have been really good since you got here. Mm-hmm. What is it for you? Like, to take us inside your mentality in those big games. I think back to the big play against the Packers last year where you stiff-armed the D-back off you. Feels like big games, playoffs, Super Bowl, Dallas Goedert, we always count on you to make a lot of big catches. Is it a different mentality? Is it opportunity? What's it been like for you? Why have you been so good in those big moments?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. In the playoffs, it's win or go home, and so everybody wants to say they raised their game, but it's just like I always, when I get the opportunity, I want to make it. We play for an incredible city, and once playoff come around, I never want to be that guy that loses a game, loses in the season, because I'm not going to have that on my shoulders all off season. So I just go out there and try to make plays, try to have fun doing it, and ultimately we play this game for the playoffs to keep advancing to get that next game. And I just love it so much. I want to stay out there. What
are you noticing with Jaylen Hurt so far in camp? I mean, he's established now as one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, and you mentioned he played so well in the title game, Super Bowl. But everyone's always watching Jaylen and how he's playing. What have you noticed with Jaylen so far as he goes into like a new stage of his career now as a Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, he looks good. Something that's so special about Jaylen is he's always so locked into the moment. Like he said, he didn't even put on the Super Bowl ring because he's to this year. I think it was the next week after the Super Bowl, he was already training for this year. Just because that man can't stop. He's got so much passion, so much competitiveness, and just wants to continue to get better. But just the command that he has in the offense, making checks at the line of scrimmage, adjusting the pass protection. He just keeps taking that next step, learning the game. Everything slows down for him, and I think he's just going to continue to get better just because that's the type of person he is, how much effort he puts into, just continually raising the bar.
Pads today, full pads tomorrow. Does it feel real now? You guys are fully back with the pads on?
Yeah, it definitely feels real. Once these pads go on, you hear a little bit popping, a little bit more trash talk. It's what we wait all season for. That's the worst part about football is the off season so long. So it's really exciting getting the pads back on. Got a big week of pads, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm excited to see the young guys continue to grow and just continue to work on our detail.
What's it been like watching Nick Sirianni grow as a coach? I mean, when he came in here, he wasn't a big name, like one of the hot coordinators. So we had to get to know him, and then you guys have had a ton of success, but I thought last year was clearly the best job he did. To kind of change things in the middle of the season, to go on the run. What's it been like for you watching him not just grow as a coach, but a leader too?
Yeah, ever since day one, it seems like he's been the same person every day. Whether things are going good, going bad, he stays positive, and he just trusts so much in what he believes in. The details, the toughness, the effort that we play with. And, ever since he's been here, he's held us all to a really high standard. But he does a great job of keeping us all locked in, paying attention to the right things, and he holds us accountable, whether it's good or bad, which I really respect. He's not just yelling at you if it's bad. He's letting you know if it's good. And, I think everybody out here wants to play for him, and that's the most important part with the head coach.
All right, we got to get your take on this before we let you go. We were just arguing about this before you came in. Now, by the time this happens here, your career is probably towards the end, if not over. But the Eagles sent out a survey to fans about the idea of a new stadium down the line and maybe having a retractable roof for a dome. Where do you come down on the domes? I love the elements of playing outside, and as a fan watching like the snow game in the playoffs. I got Hugh over here who's talking about being warm in a dome. Where do you come down? Domes, retractable roofs. You played across the league, so you know what they're like. If Dallas Goedert could choose, what kind of stadium would it be?
I'm all about that outdoor. I played from South Dakota, played at South Dakota State with an outdoor stadium in the cold. Playing the snow game up here last year against the Rams was an incredible experience. I feel like football's meant to be played outside, man. Basketball is an inside sport. Football's meant to be played outside.
See, thank you.
Whatever.
Finally, we get some sanity back on the show.
Whatever,
a football
Dallas.
guy.
I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah, Hugh's not a football guy anymore. We took that card over. Dallas, we appreciate you hopping in here, and good luck this season. While we're rooting for you. Congratulations again on the Super Bowl. Thanks, Dallas.
Appreciate it. Go Birds.
There he goes. Dallas Goedert with us.